All right,
Keep going
guys.
from where you were.
Sorry about that. Washington Commanders taking on Philadelphia Eagles. I've been told the Eagles are resting their starters. Man, the Commanders not much left to play for at this point. They haven't looked too great in their own right. I can see the Eagles backups even win this one, but guess what? Over under 38.5. I'm going under. I could see, especially if it's a battle of the backups, it might be a low scoring game. Eagles defense still pretty good, and it's in Philly, tough place to play this time of the year. Eagles winning by 4.5. Not much to say on that game. What do you have to say, Tom?
Yeah, I got the Eagles 4.5 too. I think even with their backups, they're still better than what Washington has to offer. But I'm going to zag on the over. I'm going to take the over here. I think both these teams can score despite having weird limitations, especially because the Commanders' defense is nothing special. So, yeah, I like the over 38.5. I like the Eagles minus 4.5, and obviously that means I like them winning at home for a game that really doesn't mean much.
Eagles money line, Eagles minus 4.5.
Yep, and over 38.5 I'm going to take here because I think some points will be scored.
All right, so we know the deal with the LA Chargers taking on the Broncos. Another team looking for the 1 seed in the AFC. We know the deal with the Broncos. The Chargers, I'm assuming, are resting their starters with this line
Yep,
being what it is.
Yep, they're resting their guys.
All right, so they're set in it as a wild card spot. Man, that could be. It's over under's only 37.5. Jeez, that's rough. This could be nasty game. Let's see. Broncos winning. I like Broncos winning by 12.5. Only difference is I'm gonna actually. Oh gosh, what am I doing? All right, I'm gonna take the over 37.5 for the Broncos. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos minus 12.5. I'm going to take. I'm going to take the over 37.5 as well. I think Trey Lance might get a couple touchdowns, but I think the Broncos will win this game relatively comfortably at home, and I like the Broncos to win outright, obviously. Weird game, though. This one I'm not really going to be watching, to be honest with you. I expect the Broncos to roll.
This is crazy. All right, Detroit Lions take on Chicago Bears. This spread's pretty close. When I was first looking at it, when I was writing these down, I was like, damn, Lions might play spoiler to something here. It looks like they got something to play for. Two teams that do not like each other, especially after this season. Poor Lions. I'm sure they'll come back better than ever in the near future. Bears, it's just been their year. They've looked good. Bears are going to sneak one out, guys. Bears are going to sneak one out at home. At least that's my guess. It is very close, so I'm a little reluctant to do it on the spread. I'm going to give the Lions the +3 just because it is seem like a sketchy line. I feel like it's going to be a closer game than most people think. As far as over under 50.5, if it was in Ford Field, I'd be like, oh, no problem. But it's out in the elements. Bears on the road. Goff. I'll take the over and I'll wing it with the over on this one. Doing a lot of prayers, like up in the air prayer picks this week. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, this is a tough one to bet. I wouldn't be shocked if the Lions won this game. Transparently, I think Campbell's going to coach them to win. They're going to play to win. They obviously Ben Johnson's on the other side, but they beat up the Bears pretty good early this season. I don't think Bears have forgotten about that. I know Ben Johnson hasn't forgotten about that. So I know they want some revenge here. So I like Chicago -3. But I actually like the under. And it's a risky one, and I may end up regretting it. I wouldn't be shocked if this game ends up in like the 30s, but I think there'll be some elements that might factor in here in Chicago December or January now. And I just wouldn't be surprised if Goff had a rough game. So I like Bears -3. I like the under 50.5, and I like the Bears to win.
All right, guys. Rams still something to play for. Arizona Cardinals packing it up when they'll be calling it a season. But you know what? This time of the year, as a Niners fan, I always see it. The Cardinals do play hard till the end. And it always seem to help their division rivals this time of the year playing spoiler, which is a shame that they're in that position. But Rams lost to the Falcons on Monday night, guys. What was that about? Especially going into the playoffs, but it's good that they got it out of the way. I mean, for whatever that's worth. I like the Rams to win this one, but I am going to give the Cardinals the 7.5. It's bitten me all season giving the Cardinals points. They don't never seem to cover, but I feel like this is a game they might actually come through. As far as over under 46.5, I'm actually going to take the over. Indoor game, LA. Two teams are capable of putting up points. I like the over in this one. What do you think, Tom?
So, a couple things that need to be kept in mind. And we talked a little bit about this, and I just got added context. If the Niners win Saturday, the Rams are locked into the 6th seed. If they lose, then there's a chance they can get to the fifth seed, right? We talked about that. So keep an eye on that Saturday game for anybody betting on this. For the time being, I'm going to be safe since I picked the Niners here. I'm going to take the Cardinals plus 7.5 because I'm banking on the fact that the Rams are likely not going to play most of their stars or only play them for a limited period of time. If the Niners win, I still think even if the Niners win and they're locked in the seed, they'll play for at least a half, but not long, right? Now, if the Niners lose, they might play the full game trying to get the fifth seed because that's the difference of playing perhaps the Bears in the first round or the Panthers or Bucks in the first round, right? So you got to think about that. But all that being said, I like the Cardinals plus 7.5. I like the over 46.5, and I like the Rams to win this game. But if the Niners win Saturday, maybe you take the Cardinals money line as well. Just I would keep an eye on that better for folks that are betting. Definitely keep an eye on the Niners here.
Guys, that was important. Thank you for throwing in that info for us, Tom.
For sure.
All right, guys. Last 4 p.m. game is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on their rivals in the Las Vegas Raiders, who fell to the Giants last week. Guys, they got the Chiefs as favorites here. I'm not a big fan of their third-string QB, to tell you the truth. And here we are at 36.5. This is a low point for both these teams. This is pretty bad. I'm taking the Raiders plus 5.5. They win the first game of the season. They win the last game of the season. Taking the Raiders to win, even as underdogs. I'm giving them the 5.5. Chiefs, I think I forgot to say this last week. Tanking's not allowed in the NFL anymore, but there is certain coaches and certain teams that are smart and can maybe get away with it. And I feel like Andy Reid's one of those coaches. Get a better draft pick, come back with Mahomes, the team looks good next week. If they lose this game, I look like a genius. Raiders win. Raiders 5.5 at home. But the only difference is I'm going to take the over 36.5 for whatever it's worth. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I don't even know who's playing for either of these teams anymore. I mean, the Raiders were openly tanking last week against the Giants. They benched everybody. They sent Max Crosby home. He didn't want to go home. Brock Bowers got put on IR. Everyone and their mother got put on IR. So this is a tough one to pick. But you know what? I'm going to take the Raiders plus 5.5 too. I think the Chiefs are also in a weird spot with a bunch of guys not playing. Now their quarterback Oladukin or whatever his name is, not really doesn't. I don't know if I believe in him. I don't know. You don't believe in him, but gonna take the Raiders plus 5.5. I'm gonna take the under 36.5. I'm gonna take the Chiefs money line.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it. I think the Raiders are desperately trying to get that first overall pick, and I think they're gonna try to manipulate this game any way they can to lose. But maybe Pete Carroll knows he's getting fired and might just give one last middle finger to Vegas before he leaves. So keep that in mind if you want to pick the Raiders, and that might work out well for you. So I'm taking them plus 5.5 just in case, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs money line.
That's crazy. See, I was going to say, what if that game ends 2-0? No one scores the entire game, and the last play of the game, the Raiders turn around and throw the ball through their own end zone.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Both of them need a loss in that one. All right, guys. Last game of the week 18. Last game of the entire regular season of the 2025 season is, ready for this? Last fun one. Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers to win the AFC North. It's funny that it comes down to this. Shout out to the Ravens for coming back. Shout out to the Steelers for another plus 500. Pretty good season. Looking at the playoffs, trying to get into them. Here's the Steelers at home, guys. This is another game that I was thinking about. Was no rhyme or reason. Everyone wants to see a Ravens-Bills rematch after what happened week 1. And the Ravens look like a better team. They could get into the playoffs. It'd be fun like they have in recent years. B-Buck thinks different. He thinks this might finally be the year for how weird it's been. I think the Steelers win and get in Aaron Rodgers back in the playoffs. It sucks about Metcalf. They didn't look the same without him. Stupid move on his part. And the Ravens are going to be tough to beat. But I feel like the Steelers somehow win. Make it into playoffs. Steelers 3.5 at home. But I'm going to take the over. 40.5. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I'm gonna Ravens were my pick to win the Super Bowl this year. Okay? I don't feel great about that right now. I'm almost certain that's not gonna happen. But that being said, they finally figured out give Henry the ball.
Hell yeah.
Right? Give King Henry the rock. and they did it 36 times last week.
Wow.
And they won, right? Let's see it again. Steelers have their flaws. This game is definitely a toss-up, so I'm going to take the Steelers plus 3.5. I think it's a safe money. They're at home. I'm going to take the over 40.5 as well. But I like the Ravens' money line on the road. I think they win. I think they get the division here. To be honest, I don't know if Lamar's playing or not. I don't know if it even matters at this point because Huntley's played pretty well and Lamar hasn't. So I like the Ravens to win on the road, but this game is a true toss-up in my opinion. And 3.5 seems a little bit high. So I'm going to take the Steelers to cover that at home, but I like the Ravens to win outright.
All right, guys, our confident picks for this week. Mr. Tom, Rhea Sports. 49ers plus 1.5 to start. Texans money line, where they at? Right here against the Colts. Texans money line to win outright. And then the Broncos money line to win outright. Our last confident picks of the regular season for the 2025 season. My confident picks, B-Bucks, is Patriots money line. I got the 49ers Seahawks over, believe it or not. And then also, ready for this one, crazy one? I like the Dolphins Patriots over. Tom, I'll see you in the playoffs, brother. Hopefully, we're going to do a recap of our whole regular season. I'll add them all up. We'll add that in there. We'll go over our early playoff predictions next week. Obviously, the whole first round of the playoff picks. Maybe a bracket to see who we think goes in the future. We'll do like an early prediction on that. But it's been fun, man, and I'll see you in the time where it really counts, the playoffs of the 2025 season.
Absolutely, man. It's crazy. 18 weeks about to be in the books. It goes by so fast, but I love doing this with you, man. Love doing this with all the viewers and everybody. It's been such a good season. So remember, guys, bet with your head, not over your head. Happy New Year. Bet safely, smartly. Love everybody. Blessings to you all, and we'll be seeing you real soon. Season's not over yet.
Thanks again, guys. See you again next week.